मुझे बड़ी खुशी हो रही है, मुझे बड़ा गर्व महसूस हो रहा है कि आज हम हैं जनाब शम्मी कपूर साहब के घर में और हमारे साथ इस वक्त शम्मी कपूर साहब खुद हैं। शम्मी जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका। सबसे पहले तो let me thank you for the fact that you allowed us to interview you here in your house, allowed us to turn your house upside down. Thank you so much. You've displayed such remarkable patience. Amazing. I would never have expected, that you would allow us to move your furniture to one side and do all that stuff.
As long as you put it back.
That we promise, sir. That we promise. You were a man who started off on the internet here much, much before anyone even knew about it, Hindustan mein. How did you get interested in the World Wide Web?
I was very fortunate. I got onto the computers rather late in life, of course, but I did. This was sometime in 88 after my brother died. Raji ka देहांत होने के बाद 88 में एंड उनकी बेटी आई थी यहाँ पे रितु फ्रॉम दिल्ली। वो कुछ हिसाब किताब आरके में ये लोग सब बैठे थे और मेरा रोज वहाँ आना जाना होता था। आई टू सी हर ऑन अ लिटिल पीस ऑफ वाइट स्क्रीन बैठे कुछ हिसाब किताब कर रही हैं। लॉग ऑन यू शुड रिमेंबर दैट कंप्यूटर्स वर नॉट अवेलेबल फॉर होम अप्लायंसेस इन दोज डेज एंड शी बीइंग फ्रॉम द corporate world, she had her own computer and so one fine day she just made me sit in front of it and said, "Uncle, have a look at it, see what's this all about." And that's my first experience with a computer. आप यकीन कीजिएगा, I was so taken up with this technology that I'd never seen it before.
तो सबसे पहली बार आपने कंप्यूटर देखा, पीसी देखा ऋतु नंदा जी के हाथ में।
Yes.
आपकी भतीजी।
Yes, 1988. और उसके वहाँ से बस ये फिसूर दिमाग में था कि आई मस्ट गेट अ पीस लाइक दिस, आई वांट टू नो व्हाट इट्स ऑल अबाउट। और इत्तेफाक से हम लंदन जा रहे थे, शशि कपूर में छोटे भाई की पिक्चर थी अजूबा
जी,
उसकी शूटिंग के लिए।
अमिताभ जी जिसमें से।
यस, आई वाज गोइंग टू मॉस्को फॉर दैट एंड वी स्टॉप्ड इन लंदन, माय वाइफ एंड आई, एंड व्हाइल शी वाज शॉपिंग एट हैरिड्स, आई वाज इन अ लिटिल शॉप ऑपोजिट हैरिड्स ऑन नाइट्स ब्रिज। देयर वाज एन एप्पल कंप्यूटर शॉप। मैं वहाँ बैठकर सारा दिन वहाँ बैठकर देखा कि दिस इज व्हाट अ कंप्यूटर इज, दैट्स व्हाट इट्स ऑल अबाउट। एंड बिलीव मी, आई बॉट सॉफ्टवेयर बिफोर आई हैड हार्डवेयर। वहाँ से आई पिक्ड अप अ फ्यू diskettes of software, Excel. Yes.
Which was the first one that you picked up?
I picked up Excel and MacWrite and Pixel Paint, graphic paint. I picked these up. Then I came to Bombay when I came back from my shooting, and I bought my first Mac 2. I'm a Macintosh man.
You first bought your Apple Mac 2.
This shouldn't sound like an Apple ad, but I am an Apple man, yes. And I went places from there, and I taught myself everything. And in 1991, when Apple offered us an e-world site on the net, you'll be surprised that यहाँ Bombay में through BSNL, British Telecom was giving Apple subscribers a line, which even BSNL was not aware about. And we were just the 2-3 people over here who were on the net. We joined eWorld. We subscribed to it, and it was available only through Macintosh. And इसलिए before it came to India, I was very fortunate to have experienced it. In
1991 में ब्रिटिश टेलीकॉम ने आपको एक लाइन दे दी VSNL के द्वारा, और शायद VSNL को भी उसके बारे में तवज्जो नहीं थी या मालूम नहीं था, और वर्ल्ड के आप सब्सक्राइबर थे उस वक्त 1991 में, जब इंटरनेट के बारे में कोई खास जानकारी यहाँ पर नहीं थी, किसी को मालूम तक नहीं था. And you used to chat, you used to go.
Yes, we used to chat. As a matter of fact, हम लोगों ने तब एक वहाँ पे they used to have conference rooms, and we used to have a conference room set up for Bharatwashis, all जो Indians staying abroad there in New York basically and America. तो उनके लिए उस टाइम के मुताबिक every Thursday at 7 o'clock we used to meet. हमारे यहाँ शाम के 7 बजे, उनके वहाँ सुबह 10 बजे होता था. And we used to meet and discuss various aspects and what's it all about. And it was like a small little village, this e-world. They had a post office, they had a library, and you could email to your friends. This is how basic concept of email. That's how I got to know about it. And it was great fun.
Amazing. And you still are on an Apple. We just saw you working on a Mac even now.
Yes. Apple has been nice to me, yes.
You've never used Windows?
No, I don't know how to. I have never learned the C language and COBOL and all that. My grandchildren do it all the time. My grandson is in Houston studying computer science, as a matter of fact, on the PC. But not me. I'm happy with my Apple.
You've kept it simple?
Yes.
Just like the rest of your life. Is that what you've done with your life as well?
Is my life simple?
You've only stuck to stuff which you found a degree of comfort with. Is that what you've done?
That's what life is about, I suppose. Yes.
I mean, you were comfortable acting, you were comfortable playing the hero. That's why you became a star. Later, of course, but that's why you became an actor.
You know, before I became an actor, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. Look at the number of air crashes we would have had if I had become an aeronautical engineer. But that was बड़ी ख्वाहिश थी तब, क्योंकि मैं school जब पास हुआ, metric पास हुआ, and I went to college and I took up science. I thought I was going to go great guns. यहाँ से खत्म करके अपने science और take up engineering and फिर aeronautical engineering के लिए फिर go to Canada वगैरह. बड़े ख्वाब देखे थे. वो
रुया कॉलेज में थे आप?
जी हाँ, रुया कॉलेज में था मैं.
और न्यू एरा स्कूल से आपने
मैट्रिक पास की थी. जी हाँ.
उस जमाने में मैट्रिक हुआ करती थी.
जी.
So why didn't you become an aeronautical engineer?
मैं समझता हूँ पहले साल ही कॉलेज में वो सारे ख्वाब मेरे उड़ गए. It wasn't all that easy and it wasn't all that fun. Basically, fun is what life is about, I suppose. Or while I used to attend my college for the practicals, सुबह 6 बजे जाओ, practicals attend करो, sports वगैरह भी. But for the classes, उसके बाद I used to hand over my books to some friends of mine कि आप notes लिखते रहना, और मैं वहाँ से चला. I used to come to St. Xavier's क्योंकि वहाँ कैंटीन में मेरा अकाउंट था. Plus most of my friends from my newer school were in St. Xavier's. They were in Elphinstone College. They all stayed this side. I was in Matunga. So after some time in college, I found out that I was pretty bored with my college. I suppose college was pretty bored with me also. So I moved out. I found it wasn't all that. I came up to my father and asked him for a job in the theatre, which he'd offered me to start with, and I said no then.
Because you wanted to be an aeronautical
engineer. He said, I told you, come. So I joined my father's theatre at the age of, I was 18 and a half. At 50 rupees a month.
50 rupees a month.
Yes.
You joined Prithvi Theatres.
That's right.
And what did you do at Prithvi Theatres?
I played walk-on roles as an extra junior artist. Eventually, gradually got some speaking roles in Pathan and Diwar, my father's plays. And eventually I took on the roles which were done by Raj Kapoor, my brother. And after he left the theatre, I took on those roles. They were the starring roles. When I left theatre, I had played all those roles.
Any particular role that you would like to tell us about, which you would still perhaps like to replay, or maybe still replay in your mind?
Pathan was superb.
But that was your father's
My father's, yes, but the role of Bahadur Khan, the son, was a great role. A boy who was full of fun and life, and eventually he had to sacrifice his life for his father's principles. And I enjoyed doing that. Eventually my father wrote a role for me in Kalakar. And that's the play in which Mahesh Kaul Saab saw me, as a matter of fact, and he liked me immensely. And he offered me Jeevan Jyoti, which was my first
Jeevan
picture.
Jyoti, which was your first film.
My first picture.
And Chand Usmani was your heroine.
She was my heroine.
And is that when you bought your first car, or was that later?
No, that was when I... How do you know all that?
Well, you bought your first car at that time.
Yes, I did.
It was a Buick, right?
It was a Buick convertible, yes.
And used to belong to Nigar Sultana.
That, how do you know all? Yes, yes, it belonged to Nigar Sultana, and it was a fabulous car. BMW 3009.
3009.
Yes.
Wonderful. And was that car used in any movie? किसी picture में उस car का इस्तेमाल हुआ कि नहीं?
Not that I'm aware.
But that was the era of convertibles, right? People wanted to use convertibles at that time. And what was it like driving? That was a great car, great horsepower.
Fun. It was, the powerful cars, big cars.
Now tell me something. This is something which I've always wanted to ask you. Ever since I came to know that you actually bought a car which was used by Nigar Sultana. हमारे दर्शकों को याद होगा कि जहाँ तक निगार जी का प्रश्न है, वो she used to play all these lovely courtesan roles and all that. You know, मेरे पिया गए रंगून, and उसके बाद माशाल्लाह मुगले आजम में
yes.
जी बहार का रोल उन्होंने प्ले किया था. What was a girl like that doing with a car like that? I mean, that's what I'd like to know.
I wouldn't know, because I never met her then. I bought the car on my own. I found it in Car Mart. यहाँ यूज रोड पे एक सेकंड हैंड कार की बहुत बड़ी दुकान हुआ करती थी.
चूनावाला साहब की.
चूनावाला, that's my God, you know a lot of things. You've done your homework all right. And I went there with my producer Aspi Irani, and I had asked him, I want to buy a car. So he said he'd help me. So I went and I selected this car. Out of all the cars, there were a number of cars over there, and there was this beautiful blue, light blue Buick convertible, and I bought it.
And Aspi Irani paid the down payment.
We made the down payment of about 5,000 or so, and the rest I paid for 2 years or 3 years. I don't know. It took me a lifetime paying off.